The countdown to Liverpool's new campaign is steadily ticking down, and the club has just received a development that could tilt the balance in their favour before a single ball has even been kicked. Arne Slot's preparations for what will be his second Premier League season in charge have been thorough and intense, but the latest twist delivers a well-timed injection of optimism around Anfield. With the squad already being moulded for a serious title challenge, this fresh boost could prove decisive in setting the tone for the months ahead. As the excitement builds before the opening fixture, there is plenty of news from the last 24 hours to break down, with updates on player recoveries, transfer moves, and tactical considerations that are shaping the early narrative of the season. One of the most encouraging developments comes in the form of midfielder Stefan Bajčetić, edging closer to a return following hamstring surgery. The 20-year-old, who spent last season on loan with Spanish side Las Palmas, has been steadily progressing in his rehabilitation alongside Liverpool's first-team staff. His operation towards the end of last season ruled him out of the entirety of pre-season, but rather than working away from the senior setup, he has remained within the main squad environment at the AXA training centre. This decision not only reflects the club's desire to keep him integrated, but also demonstrates the player's commitment to reclaiming his place. Bajčetić has been seen working hard in the indoor gym alongside teammates, and most recently, he was spotted among those arriving for training ahead of Liverpool's Premier League opener on Friday night. His physical condition has noticeably improved, with observers noting a clear increase in muscle mass. While he will not be involved against Bournemouth, reports suggest he is nearing the end of his recovery program and is close to rejoining full training. Respected journalist Matteo Moretto reported earlier in the week that the Spaniard has entered the final stage of his comeback. Although it is expected he will head out on another loan this season, his priority is believed to be a return to La Liga with Villarreal, Valencia, Real Betis, and Rayo Vallecano, all previously linked, though interest has also emerged from Portugal and Italy. There may still be a long-term plan for him at Liverpool, however, with Dominic King of the Daily Mail explaining that the recent sale of Tyler Morton to Lyon was partly influenced by the similarities between Morton's profile and Bajčetić's. Given his history of injuries, particularly after being heavily used during his breakthrough under Jurgen Klopp, it is difficult to see him forcing his way into the first-team picture immediately. That said, his performances at Las Palmas earned strong reviews, and Slot has hinted that progress during loan spells could be critical in securing a future role at Anfield. Importantly, Bajčetić meets the Premier League's homegrown criteria, having already spent over 3 years registered with Liverpool before his temporary move to Austria Salzburg last summer. By next season, when he turns 21, he will also qualify as a club-trained player in UEFA competitions, a factor that could strengthen his value to the squad. In another major boost ahead of the new season, defender Joe Gomez has returned to training. Following an Achilles injury, the versatile centre-back had been sidelined for 2.5 weeks, missing pre-season fixtures against AC Milan, Yokohama F. Marinos, Athletic Club, and the Community Shield clash with Crystal Palace. On Wednesday, he was back at the AXA training centre, taking part in both indoor and outdoor sessions with his teammates. His return is timely, given the ongoing work in the transfer market to strengthen Liverpool's defensive options. Also, back in full training is James McConnell, the young midfielder who has been building his fitness with the under-21s after an ankle problem. McConnell is expected to leave the club on loan after signing a new contract, but his involvement in senior training reflects the trust the staff have in his abilities. The mood at Kirkby was further lifted as several key figures took part in Wednesday's session, including Ryan Gravenberch, who had missed the Community Shield after the birth of his daughter. However, the Dutchman will not feature against Bournemouth due to suspension from a red card received on the final day of last season. This absence will likely see Slot turn to Curtis Jones or Alexis Mac Allister to partner Dominic Szoboszlai and Florian Wirtz in midfield for the opener. Gomez's return could be particularly significant, given Liverpool's ongoing pursuit of talks are continuing with Crystal Palace over Mark Guehi, with an agreement expected at around £35 million. At the same time, Parma's 19-year-old defensive prospect, Guehi Leoni, is close to joining in a deal worth roughly £30 million. The addition of both would represent a decisive step in Slot's summer rebuilding project. Liverpool's transfer activity so far has been sweeping, with the squad already bolstered by a new striker, an attacking midfielder, 2 fullbacks, and 3. Yet despite this busy window, the centre-back department has remained light, especially after the sale of Jarell Quansah to Bayer Leverkusen. Beyond the first-choice pairing of Virgil van Dijk and Ibrahima Konate, options have been limited to the injury-prone Gomez and the seldom-used Reece Williams. While Slot has played down concerns in public, Van Dijk has been vocal about the need for forward-thinking reinforcements, and the club's recruitment team clearly recognizes the urgency. Negotiations for Guehi have accelerated, particularly after Palace chairman Steve Parish admitted the player could be sold if he refused to extend his contract. Reports from the Times suggest Liverpool and Palace are deep into discussions over a deal worth £30 million plus £5 million in a don, significantly lower than the £40 million valuation reported earlier in the summer. Considering Guehi's status as an England international in his prime, his value would likely have been far higher had he more than a year left on his current deal. Palace have already rejected significant bids for him in the past, including £65 million from Newcastle United last summer and a £70 million offer from Tottenham Hotspur in January. According to Fabrizio Romano, personal terms between Guehi and Liverpool have been agreed, leaving the clubs to finalise the transfer fee and structure. Meanwhile, Liverpool are also advancing towards an agreement for Guehi Leoni. The towering young defender made just 17 Serie A appearances last season, but his performances were impressive enough to draw attention from multiple top clubs. Reports suggest Liverpool view him as one of the best young centre-backs in Europe, and Slot's staff believe his physical profile, composure, and tactical awareness could make him a long-term asset. While his top-flight experience is still limited, the club sees the combination of Guehi's proven Premier League pedigree and Leoni's potential as the ideal way to refresh the defensive core. If both deals are completed, Liverpool will have turned one of their weakest areas into a position of strength. The blend of Guehi's reliability and leadership with Leoni's youthful promise could provide the balance needed to compete across all competitions. With the Premier League title defence and challenges in domestic and European Cups ahead, these reinforcements could be the decisive summer moves that keep Liverpool at the summit. From injury returns to key transfer breakthroughs, the days leading into the new campaign have been full of positive developments for Liverpool. Slot's squad is taking shape at just the right moment, and with further additions likely before the transfer window closes, the optimism around Anfield is growing. By the day,